Oh, and welcome back to the Crone Zone. I'm Lynn, and I felt very prompted today to just jump on and add an adjunct to my previous video. There, I was talking about Mars coming into conjunction with Chiron towards the end of May. It's actually on May the 29th. And I discussed that in terms of the collective and of the wounding of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and also of the earth. But it occurs to me that I need to come in on a much more personal note for us here. I think there's more that needs to be said. So, I suppose one of the main points I want to make is how easy it is for us to know something intellectually in our heads and then to get completely hit a broadside by the actual lived interior visceral experiences of our life. So, for instance, for women amongst you, um, who hasn't at some time failed to recognize that the rather strange and disturbing feelings they're having is related to PMT? Or we find ourselves rather over emotionally intense and perhaps unable to sleep, and we've forgotten there's a full moon, and we know that the full moon can do those things to us. And this conjunction of Mars and Chiron is something else. You can know it in your head. You can say, yes, that's happening. It's about wounding, it's about highlighting who we might be and how we're failing at that, or our shortcomings, or our wounds, or what's holding us back. And we can know that. We certainly know that that's happening in a collective way. But then inside us, and we've forgotten, because we do forget, we've forgotten what the mind knows. And we start getting messages from the actual visceral lived experience of who we are. And from that, it would not be at all surprising if around this time we are cruel to ourselves with some of the things that are coming up for us. There could be feelings of inadequacy, unpreparedness, of failure, of falling short of the mark, of not being good enough, of not being ready, of not being worthy, and so on. Now, these feelings, of course, can really take the legs from under us, can't they? We can be there trying to go through life, and yet this comes up, it can swamp us. And there can be a danger that we become quite cruel to ourselves with listing all of these things. And this, of course, is where subjects like astrology can really help us, because they can help us recognize that what we're feeling is part of a process that we're going through, that it's not a permanent existential state, it's part of a process that we're going through. It's bringing up things for us to explore. And I would just say that Hygeia, asteroid Hygeia, is also in this conjunction. And she, in many ways, is the holistic healer. So there is a big drive here for healing these feelings, these things that we can self torment with. I think, too, that the message is that we just do what we must do and don't indulge in self cruelty. It will get us nowhere. Licking our wounds, or not even licking our wounds, poking our wounds is not going to help. Recognizing them helps. Maybe thinking about them and what their place is and isn't in our life. But ultimately, it's despite of them. Just getting on step by step, doing the things that we need to do, working forwards on our journey to become who we are. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are, how wise you think you are, what you have in your mind, and all this access to many perspectives and knowledge. Because whilst you are alive, whilst we are alive, we are always going to be subject to that raw living edge. We're always going to be feeling things. A good job too. There'd be scant point of being here if we didn't. So yes, I guess we look at these things as they come up. We mustn't indulge in self-cruelty. We mustn't scupper ourselves. Instead, we just go forward with humility and look ahead and become who we're becoming. That's it, really. Just felt I had to come on and say that. So maybe it speaks to you. It's certainly been something that's been speaking to me lately. So thanks for joining me here. It's comforting that our feelings are not unique, that as a collective, as a group, we can all be going through very similar things. We're not alone in them. So I'll say bye bye for now and see you again next time.